So I'm here 45 minutes west of Atlanta in Georgia's hidden Snake Creek Gorge in search for the lost town Banning. Once one of Georgia's most thriving cities, now abandoned in ruins. But along with the area's crazy forgotten history, I'm also very interested in the geology of this gorge and why nobody talks about it. But first, to the suspension bridge. Oh man, did I mention I'm scared of heights?
But just past the bridge, the very first set of ghost town ruins.
This is the 1886 paper mill. According to Georgia Tech, it was here in the town Banning where the modern paper mill industry began. I don't know why, but compared to some of the other structures built here in Georgia at the same time, it doesn't seem as sturdy. That was pretty cool. There are barely any reviews on All Trails of this place. It's open to the public, so if you want to come here, easy. Drive down. Looks like right around here, you're gonna be walking on exposed granite. And I can see different kinds of rocks. So apparently what created this gorge way back in the day was a catalysis event or extreme breakage of some sort. All of the rocks in this gorge have been affected by this catalysis, resulting in textural changes that include shredding of the micas, granulations of the quartz, feldspars, and garnet, as well as changes in the shape. And as you walk along this gorge, you can see the different types of rocks and types of ecosystems scattered throughout the exposed granite. And you can kind of tell in many of these areas how there was some sort of a breakage event that occurred. Like, this is not normal right here. Not only a very historic area, but I love the rapids and the various rocks alongside the creek.
A little further down, remnants of ruins scattered throughout the path. Even homes.
Crazy. People lived right here. Not sure exactly what structure this is, but along the Snake Creek within a mile's radius are 10 different mills back in the day in the town Banning. Banning was actually one of the first cities in Georgia that produced its own electricity. Many people from Atlanta took trips here just to look at the power.
But shortly after, the last suspension bridge leading to the final relic of the forgotten city.
If you're scared of heights, don't look down. Trust me, you'll freak. I freaked. Wasn't on camera, thank God. Luckily, think we found it.
Down the hill to the left, there it was. The outside of it was one thing, but it was the inside.
The foundation here feels so weak. It's crumbling around, and you can just feel that it can fall at any second. Banning was one of the most thriving cities, and to see it now. This place is even crazier. Frozen in time. Not so frozen, because the roof is caving in, and same with the floors. This area went through a lot of history. It wasn't just the mills. Even before that, it started with the Native Americans.
In the early 1800s here in Carroll County, still considered part of the Wild West, saw white settlement. Roughly 5 miles from here was the main plantation of Chief William McIntosh. He was a half-Creek Indian brigadier general who fought alongside Andrew Jackson and dined with President Thomas Jefferson. But on February 12, 1825, Chief William McIntosh ironically signed the Treaty of the Indian Springs, which sold the remaining Creek Indian land to Georgia. This obviously triggered the Upper Creek Nation, who then killed Chief McIntosh in his front yard that May. But 21 years after that, and likely due to the increased settlement, for the first time a manufacturing community here in Snake Creek Gorge emerged.
The Amos Mill was built in 1861 by a master builder and freed slave named Horace King, and he was hired by William Amos. During the Civil War, the Union was ordered to burn every mill in the state, and that's why every historic mill I've been to so far has been burned and destroyed, including the Roswell Mill, Sweetwater Creek, High Falls Grist Mill, and Soap Creek. But one of the reasons why they call it the Hidden Gorge in Georgia, here at Snake Creek, it took them a while to find this one, giving this area enough time to ship the machinery to South Carolina. So by the time the Union got here, they saw that these mills were not operational, so they didn't burn it. Therefore, here at Snake Creek, you'll find the only mills in Georgia spared by the Union. Now, from the Civil War, fast forward to 1895, that's when the city Banning was thriving. That's when there was the 10 different mills stretched across the river. It was kind of vague how Banning, one of the most thriving cities in Georgia, became a ghost town. It was a slow process and a little bit vague. Some people say different things. However, from what I gathered, first, it started off in 1895, I believe. At that time, when this town really needed a train due to how many mills and factories there were, that was the year that the train depot burnt down. That possibly played a factor in hurting the town's momentum. However, fast forward to the Great Depression in the 1930s or so, that was when many mills and factories here in Banning closed down and permanently stayed closed. And within the decade, many of the business owners filed bankruptcy. Even though Banning was a tight-knit community, many of the workers needed to leave and find work elsewhere. That also possibly played a factor in slowing the growth of this town. Shift a little bit past that in World War II. That was when these mills were trying to make a little bit of a comeback, possibly due to the worker shortage. Since we were at a world war, there were only 50 to 70 employees here in the mill. Later on, due to consistently losing momentum of this town, there was not enough money to make modern investments in these mills. 1971 is when Banning became a ghost town and became abandoned. So here we are, 50 years later, making a video of what once was one of the most thriving towns in Georgia, one of the first towns in Georgia that produced its own electricity. Now, this. But the funny part is, Banning Mills isn't known for any of this crazy history or the really cool Hidden Gorge of Georgia. It's known for having the world's longest zipline canopy.
So most people here, including my wife a while back, visit Banning Mills for their ziplining, treehouse lodges, and country inn. But they have no idea of this historic hike here in Georgia's Hidden Canyon. So I guess the moral of the story is, what are you ziplining over? Oftentimes in life, no matter what it is, we can glaze over the bigger picture. But every now and then, in pursuit of your goals and building your dream life, rather than ziplining past it, take a moment, look around you and be thankful for what you do have and try to enjoy the journey along the way, no matter what it is. And if you're trying to live a more fulfilling life but don't exactly know where to start, I recommend starting with hiking. It's a cost-effective and memorable way to get your friends and family together. If you're in the area, stop by Banning Mills. It's definitely worth it in my opinion. But if you're looking more towards the northern end of Georgia, see this video here of the ancient unsolved mystery at Fort Mountain. This place is amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day.